It started with Sarah Cunningham. She is out of Oklahoma, and she started it with a homemade button. She made a homemade button that said "Free Mom Hugs." She struggled with her son, Parker. He's gay, and she struggled with her religion and her son being queer. And she struggled with, how does that fit? How does that work? And after struggling with that, she made a decision to make a button that said "Free Mom Hugs." And she went to Oklahoma Pride Festival and got hugs. And it just started from there. And then that was in 2015. 2018, she made a Facebook post that said, if anybody needs a mom to be there for their weddings or any celebrations, let me know. I'll be your biggest cheerleader, and I'll even bring the bubbles. And that's how it started. It blew up from there. Without getting into personal stuff, I have a child who is in the community, and I have lots of friends and family who are in the community as well. And I had met another friend who had mentioned Free Mom Hugs, and so then I got involved that way. I started off as just a regular volunteer, a hugger as we call them. I started off as a hugger, and then the Tennessee leader, Barb Schneider, said, "Hey, I want you to become a chapter leader in Knoxville." So I did, and that didn't last but maybe 6 months. And then she said, "Okay, I need a Tennessee state leader." And I said, "Wait, what?" And so I got voluntold. I graciously accepted the honor of being a Tennessee state leader. And I've been a Tennessee state leader now for 2.5 years. So what that means is myself and I have a co-partner now to be the state leader with me, but we're over the entire state of Tennessee, and we have chapters. So we're over the entire state of Tennessee as a chapter leader, and then we have different areas. So we have Tri-Cities, so we have Johnson City, Kingsport, and whatever the third city, Kingsport, Bristol, sorry. And so we have them. And then we have the Knoxville area that incorporates everything around the Knoxville area. Then we have the Nashville area. So we have Nashville, Franklin, and Murfreesboro. We have them. And then we have Chattanooga. And then we have some area leaders over in the Memphis area. And so we monthly have a meeting, and we get together with all the area leaders over on Zoom, and we talk about what we're going to do for the month for the community. So Free Mom Hugs in general does visibility, education, communication, and of course we give hugs. So we do a lot of, we do basically outreach for the community. We do not, we're a nonprofit, so we don't do anything political. We have no political affiliation, we have no religious affiliation. Those are two big things. But we do a lot of Pride events. Aside from Pride, we do anything throughout the year within the community. For instance, in Knoxville, we do a lot of partnering with Bryansbridge. We've done events at South Press, and anything to help out within the community. We have been asked in the Chattanooga area to participate in a breaking of the bread with the community. They're going to come from Florida and then up through Chattanooga. We're going to do that in October, right before their Pride event. That was a huge invitation for us to be invited to. So we show up, and we show up proudly to support the community in any way possible. We did a big event in South Press. We did our Free Mom Hugs tour last year. Yes, and Sarah Cunningham traveled, again, she's our founder, she traveled through the South because we were getting hit with lots of negative news and laws, and of course we continue. And so she came through the South, and so we did an event. She came through Nashville, and we did Nashville. We had paired up with the Human Rights Campaign, and we did some speaking engagements with them. And then she came over to Knoxville, and then we had an event at South Press. We are so needed because unfortunately so many people in the LGBTQIA+ community have been disowned for who they are. Just being their actual selves, people loving who they want to love, being their authentic selves. And unfortunately, family members have turned their backs, have disowned families, family members don't understand, don't want to understand, and we will never replace their family. We will never replace their parents, but we can provide love, words of affirmation, and hugs, and hopefully educate people to know that that was the same person you loved 5 minutes before you found out whatever they told you. They are no different. They may love somebody differently than you do. Their sexuality may be something that you need education about, and we can provide that education. Maybe their gender is different than what you thought, but bottom line is they're still that same person they were. And open your arms and love them. Take the time to learn who they are. We're human. We're all human. All we want to do is be our authentic selves and love. And there's nothing wrong with loving someone. So nationally, we have over 20,000 people registered as volunteers. We just got those numbers. Excuse me, I think it's over. In Tennessee, we have over 4,000 volunteers, so I can give you that. Nationally, just in the month of June, we had over 20,000 people register as volunteers. And then if we had looked at all the events, we have to register our events nationally because we're a national organization. All the events we had registered in the month of June, just June, there were 447 events registered nationwide. And those aren't our pop-ins. Those aren't our ones we just stop in and wear our shirts like this one or a button. And these are actually registered events. So we actually had more events than there are days in a year, which is incredible. And those are volunteers coming out, hugging and loving and just being there for people. And you asked how many actual staff. We have a board of directors. We have staff. So of the staff, I think we now have probably up to 8 now paid staff, and that's new. It may be a little bit higher. I would say maybe between 8 and 10 paid staff, and they're all in Oklahoma. Unfortunately, we took a hit this year here in Tennessee. There was an alderman in Franklin that had some negative words to say. Sarah Cunningham, our founder, again took a gracious stand and invited that alderman to come speak to her personally, and invited her to come to a Pride event, invited to give her some gear, anything that we had, and said that we were, a negative comment was that we're grooming, and because we give hugs, and that we're grooming children. We don't. We absolutely don't. Anybody who's been to one of our events or see us hug, 9 times out of 10, if it's a minor child, if they're at an event, their parent is actually with them. Their parent is probably a volunteer with us, and their parent's probably at the booth with them, and we ask them if the kid asks for a hug and the parent's there, we still look at the parent and ask, can we give a hug? We are absolutely not grooming. Every volunteer is registered with us. We do everything to protect not only us, but all of our volunteers, because we want to be words of affirmation. And again, it's all about education and visibility. And I can tell you, when we did get that backlash, specifically in Franklin, Tennessee, Franklin, Tennessee had more people at their Pride event this year than they've ever had. I specifically went as a state leader there to support our team. And we had so many people come up to us. I drove 2 hours. I drove an hour and a half. There was an older man who came and brought he was older, but he also brought his elderly father to come, and that man was giving everybody hugs, and this man told me, my dad took time to learn. He had disowned my sister, and then learned to accept my sister back, but has now accepted my child that is transgender. So people are learning, and people traveled because they wanted to show support. People came and also told us, I didn't even know anything about the community, but I knew they were humans and needed to be loved. And I was like, that's incredible. I can say for the other communities, the protesters have been down, which is amazing. That's what we need. We don't need the protesters. We don't engage with them. They don't deserve our time and energy. Our time and energy is for the community and the support and the love that they deserve. Again, these are just people that love other people, and we're not here to judge. I would say the hard things that we face when we go out to events, it's challenging. Not the community, the stories. You have to be ready for the stories. Some are heartbreaking and they're moving. And when you hug, we don't let go until whoever we're hugging lets go. And thankful I'm a social worker, so I have a different background than a lot of people. So you hear stories that are just absolutely heartbreaking. I've had people hug me and said, I haven't had a hug from parents in X amount of years. And my mom wouldn't hug me. Thank you so much. I was at an airport just the beginning of July with this shirt on, and even the woman working at the airport, I was just wearing this shirt, and she asked me for a hug, and she just started bawling. And so that's the stuff that's hard, but that shows you how important it is and how much what someone thinks is a simple hug can mean the world to somebody else. It's just important. And that's what's hard, is that, but it's hard emotionally, but it's not hard if that makes sense, because you want to be there and you want to be there for them. I can tell you that when I come home from an event, besides the fact I'm covered in glitter and colors and all that, and it's just amazing, but I come home and I'm tired, because you take on the world from others, and if I can just take on one challenge for someone else, then I'm doing my job. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing what I'm called to do, because it's hard and it's a burden that they carry. Let me take that burden, even if it's for an hour a day, because no one should be carrying that. No one. We didn't stop during the pandemic. So we did what we called Beyond the Hug. So we sent out cards and did everything we possibly could to let everybody know, hey, we're still here. We do a lot on social media. That's where we try to stay connected with everybody. So we could give hugs, but with masks on. So that's different. Obviously, you don't really know who's hugging you with a mask. You have covered. And we were shut down in many places. So we didn't give as many hugs, but we stayed connected. And then when we did come back out, I think we had an enormous amount of people who wanted to volunteer. And I think we gave out probably more hugs because nobody had them. So I think what we did through the pandemic was good, but what we're doing now and being back out there and showing people, and people get excited when they see us. It's funny because in Franklin, we had people at the entrance, and the people will run up and hug you. You could have your back turned, and if they see oh, there's a mom, for Mom Hugs is here and your back's here, they'll come up and grab you sometimes, and it's fun. But yeah, so I think we graciously have overcome the pandemic, I think, as an organization. I think we might have lost some huggers, but we've regained. For anybody who stepped back because they didn't want to be physically touched, which is fine, I think we gained. For everyone that walked out, I think we get 10 more. We get letters of thank yous, we get letters, emails, phone calls. It's cute if you post something like comments and things like that. And of course, we're on social media, so we can see those kind of things. it's been one of the things we do at lots of events. This started from Sarah as well, is we do post-its or note cards at events, so you can leave one, take one. And so it's words of affirmation, and then so anybody can get one, and then a lot of people will either just take a picture of one or take one, and then they leave another one. Those have been huge. So that's something we measure too, like how many more do we have this time compared to last year or in the fall or whatever. So that's really fun too for people to see. But we also see in the amount of donations we've been getting. We have corporate donations, we're getting more of those, and just in kind, just for everyday people too. So that's other ways we're seeing how we're getting measured. Last year at Knoxville Pride, when we did the Pride Parade the night before, myself, and I will give credit to Dan Blevins. He is in charge of Stand in Pride. He started that after Sarah Cunningham. He kind of modeled after that. He's very well known. So Dan and I were walking in for free mom hugs in the parade, and everywhere we walked, you don't think about it, but you either heard Karen or Dan the whole time. We had other people with us, and just hearing your name and like knowing that you're making a difference, knowing that the organization that you are associated with, that I'm associated with, is doing something. And so getting pulled out of the parade to give hugs to people that I knew one way or another or knew of me because of what we're doing, that was incredible. And having people seek us out at events to get a hug, and then purposely seek out all of us. And like you could be sitting down there like, no, I want that mom to hug me. It's just, it sounds funny, but it's, you're making a difference. They love it. They're thanking us. Thank you for being there. Thank you for giving me a hug. I met a kid, I say kid, he's in his 20s, and he wrote on his, just in case he sees this, he wrote on his Post-it, it was his birthday, and he just come out 2 days before his birthday, and this was this summer. He wrote a happy birthday on there, and I said, we're celebrating your birthday today, and he came out 2 days before, and he couldn't wait to get hugs from all of us and just celebrate. That was awesome. And he said, you guys made my birthday special. We had a little girl, she was 9 or 10, and she had a lesbian flag around her. Her mom was with her, she had lesbian stickers on, and she said, I love girls, and that's how it's supposed to be. And I was so excited. And I asked her mom, I'm like, may I take your pictures together? And she's like, yes. And I do the whole thing. It could be on social media. And her mom's like, absolutely. So then I asked her mom, I said, can I ask your daughter too? Because I figured she'd. And that little girl couldn't have stood more proud to have her picture on there. And she's like, you guys give hugs. My mom gives the best hugs. So those are the things those are the moments that stick with me. And rereading some of those cards that people have written, they're just, ugh. Facebook is our number one, which is good and bad, because we all know it does have some kinks to it too, but that is our number one communication right now with all of our community, and just letting everybody know what's going on. We try to update it, try to post something at least once a day so everybody knows what's going on. I've done a lot of volunteer work in my life, and this is probably the most exciting, most fun, most rewarding, to give visibility to a marginalized society that just needs it and deserves it. They deserve it. And it's sad that we have to have this group, because we shouldn't have to, but we do. And because we do, I want everybody to be a part of it, and I want everybody to celebrate, because we're all human at the end of the day, and we're not here to judge other people. And you know what? Love is love. Who cares? Have fun. Well, Marsha P. Johnson, by far, she's an icon, and it was an icon in the community. And I think anybody who is part of the community should know who she is, who she was, and why Stonewall really exists. And It's not just about a parade, it was a riot. And my own child enlightened me about all of it and cried tears. I mean, I watched the documentary, all of it. It's important, it's crucial. It's the pivotal moment. I mean, we all should know. Locally, I would have Sarah Cunningham by far. Sean Bryan, I think, is absolutely phenomenal. I would do anything personally, and my husband and I have talked about this, we would do anything personally for Bryan's Bridge. Like if we had the resources, which we don't, but if we could, and then build another home for Sean Bryan and Bryan Bridge in a heartbeat, in an absolute heartbeat. I hate that we even have a homeless shelter. Need it, but we do. And my family personally will do, like we've made donations, but I tried to get Free Mom Hugs to do stuff for them. But definitely Sean Bryan locally, hands down. That's without a doubt. Sean is absolutely amazing. They can go to freemomhugs.org, O-R-G.